I'm Jordan. Welcome to my art studio. So today I'm going to have you join me as I work on a painting, and I'll show you the whole process from start to finish. I plan to do another painting for this series that I started a while ago. I have a few of them up here on my wall, so you might have seen them already. But I started this series of plant and flower paintings, and they've all been inspired by this book that I thrifted. So this book is Wildflowers of North Carolina, and it is full of these beautiful photographs of flowers. And I've been randomly picking out images from this book and then using that as reference for these paintings. And it's just been a really fun process. So I thought I would bring you along and show you how I do it. I'm going to be painting on paper, so I have some sheets over here ready to go. This is just Canson watercolor paper that I trimmed down to 9 by 12. And then I have my acrylic paint here next to me, and I just need to flip through this book and pick out one of these images to use as reference. I've already bookmarked a bunch of the pages in here that I was interested in potentially painting, so I just need to pick one that looks fun. I love the shape of these flowers, the yellow stargrass. That could be fun. What did I save here? I think I saved this page for the swamp rose. This field pansy, that would be a pretty flower to paint. This just caught my eye. I didn't have this page bookmarked, but I think this mountain laurel could be fun to paint. These flowers are an interesting shape and it looks fun. So I think I might just do this and not think too much about it and just get started. Here's all my paint. You've probably seen this in my past videos, but I keep my acrylic paint in these little cups. So I just need to take the lids off to get started. Since the weather has been so hot and I don't have AC here in the studio, my paint has been drying out a little bit quicker than usual. So to try to help that, I keep this little spray bottle next to me. It's just water, and I just give my paint a little spritz every now and then, and this just keeps it from drying out, especially when I have it out for a couple hours. So that's a little helpful tip for you. I'm gonna grab a big paintbrush, and I like to start with a wash of color to cover all of the white. And typically I go for a neutral color like one of these, but sometimes I do a brighter color like red or orange I've done before, and this looks cool under the paintings as well. I think I'll just do this cream color to start. So I am just going to cover this page. And maybe I'll add a little bit of this as well. And then I'm gonna grab a smaller paintbrush and start blocking in just big shapes for where I wanna place things to kind of get the composition down. So I'm just gonna use a lighter color, like maybe this pink, and just draw the areas where I want everything to be. It does not need to be precise at all, but this just helps me to get a sense of the size and composition of the painting. Now that I have these outlines, I am going to add some color so that I can start building up the painting and see where this goes. So I am going to start with this light pink and start doing these flowers. I try not to be too detailed in the beginning, and I'm just trying to get the shapes in. At the end, I'll add details and shadow and all that, but right now I really just want to nail down the composition. I am blocking in where I want some of the shadows with this blue, also with a little bit of the red, just in a few areas. Again, not getting too detailed with this, just blocks of color. I have really been focusing recently on adding depth to my paintings because I was feeling like for a while my work was looking pretty flat, and I realized it was because I wasn't paying attention to different values and shadows that make objects kind of pop out of the page. And once I started adding that, or just focusing more on that, I saw an immediate change in my work. So that's what I'm doing here, just adding blocks of shadow, and we'll add the detail later. I think I'm going to go ahead and start on the leaves and then get more into the flowers. So I'm gonna wash my brush. I feel like yellow is a good place to start for just getting in the shape of the leaves. It's easy to cover up with green afterwards, and it just helps me see where I'm going to be placing the leaves. A lot of times while I'm working on these paintings, I'll start feeling like it's not going well and I don't like how it's looking. I might feel like it's too messy, or I don't like colors I've chosen, or whatever it is. I start having all these negative thoughts about it. And I try to ignore that, because a lot of times it's not until the very end, when I add those finishing touches to the painting, that all of a sudden it just seems to come together and suddenly I love it. And if I had listened to all those negative thoughts along the way, I probably would have quit painting and just thrown it away. So I guess this is just a reminder to trust the process, because it won't necessarily look good every step of the way. I just try not to be too judgmental about it while I am in the middle of a painting. Okay, I have some leaves blocked in. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this blank space here. If I want to add some more leaves, I think I do, just to fill that in a little bit more and make it really feel like just a snapshot of a field of flowers. I'm going to give my paint another spritz of water because it's just a little bit dry. Okay, I'm liking these shapes that I have going. So now I'm thinking I need to block in the words. I'm probably going to do mountain up here and then laurel going down the side. I think that makes the most sense. But I need to figure out what color I want to write the words in, which means I also need to think about what color I want the background to be. I think I might try this blue. So I ran into this problem where I don't think I have enough room to finish out this word. So when something like this happens, I just take my background color and cover it right back up, and then we'll paint back over it. Now I'm going to start adding in some more details. I do like these paintings to be more loose and kind of messy, so I'm trying to not get too caught up in all the little details, because I don't want this to look exactly true to life. I'm not trying to copy the image. I do want this to be a little bit more stylized. So I'm trying to stay loose and free and not making it too perfect. Also, I didn't mention this, but I have a piece of palette paper here next to me, which I am using to mix some of these colors. Now that I have some of the flower details added, I'm going to go in and start refining the leaves a little bit. These leaves have this interesting lighter edge, if you can see in this photograph, so I'm trying to represent that here. Now that I've refined the leaves a little bit more, I feel like I need to add in the background color, and then I can go in and finish refining the rest of this painting. But I just need to see what it's going to look like with the background and know what the final color palette is going to be. And I'm thinking for the background, I want to do something dark. I am just going to start with this black color that I've mixed. I just want some contrast here. So let's see how this looks. This black color is actually a color I mixed myself. It's not just black straight out of the tube. I can't remember where I learned this tip, but I heard somewhere that you shouldn't use black straight out of the tube. And instead, you should mix your own black with like every other color mixed together. So if you mix a bunch of random colors together, it'll turn into this dark color that is just more interesting than black. So I've started doing that, and I actually really like it. And you can tell it's not black in the areas that are more transparent. And I just think it adds a nice variation rather than just a flat black straight out of the tube. Although there is nothing wrong with just using straight black if that's the look you're going for. But I've really been enjoying this kind of homemade, like muddy color black. Now that I've been looking at this a little bit more, I feel like I might want to change the background or just add a little bit more color so it's not just that black across the whole background. I don't know. I'm just gonna try mixing some more colors into the background and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, I might just cover up this black. I'm looking at it against the other paintings that I have, and I feel like I do want to change the background. So I am going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll show you what it looks like. I finished adding in this new background color, and I'm so happy that I tried it out because I like this so much better than the plain black. So I did it very loose and messy, and I purposely kept some of these black edges, and I think it gives it the pop that I was looking for. I like that it's kind of a loose outline, and I don't know, I just really love this effect. So I am going to finish this up. I'm just going to maybe add in a few more darker areas in the flowers to give it some more depth, but I think this is mostly done. Okay, I think this is finished. I am gonna stop messing with it and just leave it here and call it done, but I'm really happy with how this looks. So I went in and I refined it a little bit more. I added in some darkness in the flowers and some of the leaves just to make them pop a little bit more. I also removed a leaf right here and I feel like it looks better without it. And then I just cleaned up some of the edges, but not too much because, like I said, I really wanted to leave this rough kind of black outline around everything, and I think that looks really good. I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna put it up on the wall and see how it looks with the rest of the paintings. That's always really exciting to see how everything looks together. So I'm gonna set that aside to let it dry, but I wanna show you some of the paintings that I've done in this series that actually did not turn out very well. I feel like that might be helpful for you to see. So let me go grab those. So this painting here, I actually don't hate this one. I like a lot of aspects of this. I love how the flowers turned out. I think those are really nice. I really enjoy all the different colors in the flower petals. But something about the composition overall just feels off to me, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe the background color needs to be changed. Maybe I need to add in like some more leaves in the background or something. I also don't love the placement of the name of the flower. Like maybe that would look better centered. I'm not sure. I just feel like I need to work on this a little bit more. I just haven't done that yet, but I might be able to make some changes and be happy with this in the end. So this isn't a total fail. So this one, I did not even finish refining it. This was like the first layers of color. And I just knew this wasn't gonna go how I wanted it to go, so that's why I stopped. I feel like the flower is just kind of floating in space. It's not really rooted anywhere to like the ground. So that would be something I would change. Maybe the background color isn't quite right. Also the words, it's just taking up so much of the space. I don't know. I just knew this wasn't a good composition and I might go back in and try again another time because this flower is really interesting. I love it. And this painting, also similar. I didn't love the composition. The flowers are just kind of floating in space. Like I need more in the background. I also don't love the placement of the word, the name of the flower here. I don't know. Composition was just off. And once again, it just felt like too much to fix. So I just let it go and decided that I would try again another time. So yeah, these are paintings that didn't turn out exactly how I wanted them to, but they were a great learning lesson for me. And now if I were to go back in and repaint these, I know exactly what I would not do. And I feel like knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do. I'm really happy with it. I feel like it's the perfect addition to this series. Thank you so much for joining me as I worked on this painting today. I hope you enjoyed seeing this process, and I will see you in my next video.